back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So it has been reported that allegedly Stefan Diddy, Cardi B's baby daddy and man, has more babies on the way without Cardi B. Okay. Now it has been reported that he is having twins with his ex KJ, allegedly. Okay. Now, a lot of people are clowning Cardi B because she is also pregnant. To me, in my opinion, I think that this relationship was a humiliation ritual for Cardi B. And I don't believe that this relationship is real. I think that Cardi B is Stefan's beard. You know, he's putting on a front to the public that he really like women. That's why he keeps having all these babies and side chicks. He's trying to prove that he really not into men. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for me. I think Cardi B is Stefan's beard and that this relationship is completely fake. Reason why I think it's fake is because ain't no way he can have babies. Like, you know, he done had 3 kids while with Cardi B and she ain't really go off like she did with Off the Cheat. It's not making any sense. It's not adding up. I think Cardi B used this to push her album. It didn't outsell Nicki, so that's why she's not really talking about the relationship no more. I think that this is a fake relationship, and he basically used Cardi B to, you know, change the narrative that he's really into men. Mind you, he had that essay case with a man, Chris Griffin, so this kind of changed that narrative a little bit, but I'm not falling for it. I just don't believe he'd be able to have all these babies and cheat and all this stuff if they was really together, because the way she was going off on Off the Cheat, and I know they were together for 7 years, but every time Off the Cheat did something, she was throwing bottles and threatening women and doing all this stuff. She ain't do none of that with Stefan Diddy, so something's not adding up. So I don't really believe this. I think this is a PR humiliation stunt for Cardi B and that she is Stefan Diddy's beard. This relationship is fake. Now, KJ, Stefan Diddy's new baby mama, she is bad. Okay, she's very pretty. She used to date Champagne Thickums. If you did not know, allegedly, Kiki, Do You Love Me? That song is about her. Okay, which I believe came out, 2018, 2019. So, you know, again, Cardi B will never be the baddest in the room. We've already spoken about that. I think she already knows that. I suggest Cardi B, you know, have this baby, move on. It doesn't really make her look good to basically always be getting cheated on. But she always claims she a bad bitch. I feel like it just doesn't look good. It doesn't make any logical sense. I think she definitely needs to move on. Now, moving on from that, DeAndre Tristan, who has been accused of stealing from Nicki Minaj, was out and about with Tina, Queen B's mama. Okay? So a lot of fans are speculating like, was he hired by Devil Nation to sabotage Nicki Minaj? And remember, Nicki's been talking about people stealing from her, especially recently since, you know, she went on tour. So let me know how y'all feel about it. Okay, do you think it was a coincidence, or do you feel like this was orchestrated? Okay, like the fans believe. In my opinion, I believe it could be a little bit of both. And you were saying, how can it be a little bit of both? This is how I see it. There's a lot of people in the industry that probably don't like Nicki Minaj's personality. I'm not going to say that they don't respect Nicki, because I do think even her haters, even the female rappers that claim that they love Lil' Kim and Queen Latifah but never work with them, a lot of these people in the industry respect Nicki Minaj, but they may not like her as a person. So I feel like the Carters probably really don't kiki with DeAndre like that, and probably did not tell him to steal from Nicki Minaj, because at the end of the day, DeAndre is not that great of a stylist. Beyonce don't use him. Tina don't use him like that. Okay, they don't use DeAndre like that. That's like the Mariah Careys and the Tamar Braxtons of the world. No shade. But these A-listers, other than Nicki, really don't use him like that. Number 2, Camel Face already owes Nicki Minaj money. That's why she going after him now. So I feel like they did it to kind of be spiteful towards Nicki by inviting him. But I don't feel like they really fool with him like that, because Beyonce don't work with him at all. And Tina works with everybody that works with Queen B. So in my opinion, I feel like they did it as like a ha-ha moment. You know, like they linking up because they got one common enemy. But they don't really fool with him like that, because they ain't never really worked with him. You just went to an event with them, but they don't really fuck with you like that. They never put no money in your pockets because you were a terrible stylist. I think DeAndre is probably the worst stylist in the game. That's why he's doing the Queen of Christmas and Tamar Braxton. That's his area. He should not be doing any big A-listers. And, you know, the Queen of Christmas, she is an A-lister to a certain degree, but it's not like she hot right now. She not Beyonce, she not Nicki. She not red hot right now. It only popping when Christmas is around. Now, moving on from that, it also has been reported that Gorilla Glue is getting shaded by Megan Thee Stallion's hairstylist, Kellen, whatever you want to call him, on Twitter. He tweeted, "He ain't no Kellen." Basically what Cardi B said a few days ago, trying to shade Armand Wiggins. And so a lot of people are speculating that this is shade towards Gorilla, because Gorilla was at a basketball game with her stylist EJ, who used to work with Megan Thee Stallion and got fired. And basically, EJ watched Gorilla fall to the floor, embarrass herself. He almost stepped over her. She's getting clowned. A lot of people are saying that she's trying to morph into Megan Thee Stallion. They've been saying that for weeks. And she went to the basketball game because, you know, her boyfriend is a basketball player. But unfortunately, she's still getting dragged on social media. Now, EJ stepped in and said he didn't give a 1, 2, 3 Fs, okay? And he said there would be no Kellen and Meg if it wasn't for him. So he clapped back. But then Gorilla also liked a tweet insinuating that Megan could be jealous of her because of all the success that she's been having. And I fully believe it. And it's really no shade, okay? Now, moving on from that, it has been reported that Halle and DDG have agreed to drop their domestic violence restraining orders that they had against one another. They also have agreed to a temporary custody agreement for Halo. With that being said, the temporary custody agreement is for the next 60 days. DDG will be allowed to have Halo overnight on some days. He will have Halo from Wednesday to Thursday and every Saturday. For the holiday schedule, Halo will be with DDG on Halloween and Father's Day. Halle will have Halo on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and New Year's Day, and they will split time with him on Christmas Day and his birthday. The agreement also states that neither party can post Halo or any information regarding him on social media. They must also ensure that their families comply with this order. Halle and DDG have also agreed not to disparage or speak ill of one another publicly or in the presence of Halo. Okay? So let me know how y'all feel about that. See, here's the thing. Halle lost. You did all of this for no reason, and you could have done a custody agreement months ago. Now it looks like you did all of this to be spiteful. So I have to give Halle 50,000 lashings, because you could have done a custody agreement months ago. Okay? You did all that restraining order nonsense for no reason. Even though it looks like, in my opinion, based on the schedule, Halle still technically has full custody. Because if you can only see your son Wednesday till Thursday and then every Saturday, you don't really have full custody. That's not even split time. That's like 30% he get to see Halo, and she get him 70% of the time. Okay? Plus, you only get to see him on the holidays, Halloween and Father's Day, and half of Christmas, and then half for his birthday. So basically, she still got full custody. Okay? But he got basically, in my opinion, based on this schedule, visitation, in my opinion. But the only thing, though, I feel like she did this just to be spiteful. You didn't show no evidence of him really abusing you. You showed text message, but you said in the court documents there was a video of him being aggressive with you. Okay? So I feel as though, Holly, did you do this out of spite? Be real. Did you do this out of spite? Now, moving on to Scratch Off. Scratch Off, who looks every bit of 35, okay, with her recent hair color changes. First, she tried the burgundy or red, which wasn't given. You know, she looked about 39 when she was trying to, do the red. Then she went to the light pink, trying to copy Ice Spice. Because remember, Ice Spice has recently, changed her look a little bit. Did a little bit of rebrand thanks to Arrogant Tay tennis ball. And it looks like Scratch Off is trying to find her next look. Okay? Remember, she's decided to change her look a few years ago when Ckiminaj said she looked like she was 35 and she was 23. So it looked like she's trying to do a rebrand because she sees Ice Spice doing a rebrand. But it just don't give with Scratch Off, because Scratch Off do look like she's in her 30s. Even with this light pink, I feel like Scratch Off always look older than she actually is. Even when she's next to her sister, she look older. Okay? When she's next to Ice Spice looks like she's like 5 years younger than Scratch Off. I don't think the pink and the red is her color. What she needs to do is she needs to do a very, very light auburn if she is not going to do her natural hair. And I understand she doesn't want to wear her natural hair all the time because it probably costs a lot and it's tedious. If you always gotta wash and braid your hair. I also suggest, her stop tanning. I think the tanning is actually aging Scratch Off. Because when she is pale, she look older. But when Ice Spice look pale, and she light skinned too, and biracial, she still looks young. Because Ice Spice don't tan. She doesn't try to be darker than she actually is. So I think Scratch Off should stop tanning. And that would take some years off her face. Okay, because right now, no shade, Scratch Off aging like milk. Now, moving on to Tyla. As we know, Tyla and Carisha got beef because they both got a song called Put Me in Chanel. Young Toilet Seat song hasn't come out yet. But with that being said, though, JT and Tyla possibly will link up for a remix because there's been a lot of talks behind the scenes in regards to a remix for Tyla and JT for the Chanel song, which a lot of people love. I'm going to be honest with you. If this song flop, I'll be shocked because I've been streaming this song since it came out. So I really feel like Tyla got a boppity bop on her hands, but we will see if you guys truly support. Now, moving on from that, Tina Knowles reveals the advice Blue gave Rumi when she wanted to join Queen Bee on Cowboy Carter tour. Now, if you guys remember, there was a lot of flack in regards to Rumi joining the tour because a lot of people felt like she had, autism or something because of how excited she was to be on stage. And I felt like it was wrong for people to drag Queen Bee's children like that, but we got to blame Kanye West. He basically put that narrative out there, just like Cardi B put that narrative about Papa Bear out there. So basically what happened was, when she came out the first night, she was excited. That's what Miss Tina said. And she said people were making all these crazy comments and Blue was like, Rumi, you might need to calm down. By the third or fourth show, she would pick her own outfits at night. She could pick them out and Ty would come and she'd be like, no, I don't like that. I don't want that outfit. But basically, she wanted to be herself on stage. So basically, Blue told Rumi to calm down because y'all were calling her all sorts of names and saying how she had autism. And so Blue was trying to be a good big sister, and she told Rumi to calm down. My whole thing is, I feel like talking about children should be off limits no matter who it is. I feel like it's kind of tasteless to be dragging people's children regardless of what they have. Okay? Because I feel like that's just bad karma on your end when you do so. Okay? Because what goes around comes around, and words are powerful. Now, moving on from that, people are clowning Cardi B because Cardi B a week ago tried to start a hello TikTok trend with her and Adele. Because, Adele got that song called Hello. And Cardi B has a song called Hello on her latest album, Am I the Flop? And so, with that being said, she tried to start a TikTok trend because she saw Nicki Minaj's TikTok trend with the bees in the trap really causing a buzz and all the celebrities doing it. But unfortunately, her TikTok trend is flopping. Okay? And here's my thing with Cardi B, and I've said this before. Nothing Cardi B does is genuine. Okay? I feel like she's constantly watching Nicki Minaj. That's why I think it would be very smart if Nicki Minaj doesn't use social media. It'd be so hard for Cardi B and the ops to really track Nicki and see what she's doing. She literally be stalking Nicki Minaj. As soon as Nicki Minaj tweets, even if she's not adding Cardi B will respond in like 2 seconds because she's actively watching Nicki Minaj under a burner account. I believe she probably has a Nicki Minaj fan page. I truly believe that. That's just my opinion. But I think Cardi B low-key be stalking Nicki. And Nicki needs to get a restraining order or stay off social media because it's harder for Cardi B and the ops to stalk you if you're not on the scene. Now, next thing on the docket, Cam'ron is reportedly suing J. Cole over Ready 24-hour song off J. Cole's album, Might Delete Later. Cam'ron, the rapper, alleges he wrote lyrics and recorded a verse for the song back in 2022 in exchange for J. Cole agreeing to either collaborate with him on a future project or appear on Cam'ron's podcast. It is what it is. He claims that from July 23 through April 24, he repeatedly reached out to J. Cole, who repeatedly told him he was unavailable. But the promised podcast appearance and further collaboration never happened. Cam'ron further states that he has not been properly compensated for his contribution for the song. He wants a judge to formally recognize him as a co-author of Ready 24. He is seeking a full accounting of the song's earnings, which he believes is $500,000. Okay? Now, what does it mean he was a co-author? Like, did you write for J. Cole? Because J. Cole not supposed to have writers. He's one of the GOATs. Okay, if this was Champagne Thickums, I can see why, because Champagne Thickums does have writers. But J. Cole, Nicki, and Kendrick don't move like that. So what does he mean, like he was co-author? Like, what did you write exactly? I gotta listen to the song. Because J. Cole not supposed to have writers. Okay, so this definitely needs to be investigated. And in my opinion, who the hell wants to swap with Cam'ron? J. Cole should have just paid him off, because who the hell wants to go on his podcast and swap a song with him? Like, a Cam'ron feature ain't gonna do nothing for nobody in 2025 or 2024, 2023. He washed. Like, let's be very honest. That's why he's on a podcast. If the music was selling, he wouldn't be doing podcasting anymore. Okay? Or if he owned his own record label, like Camel Face. No shade. So, I don't know. I feel like this needs to be investigated. And J. Cole, you better not have writers, because I already lost respect for you for dropping out of the rap battle. But then you got Cam'ron writing for you. You're going to be out my top 5. Okay? So this better be, a prank, a humiliation ritual. This better not be what I think it is. Because if he wants all the earnings for this song, that really means that he wrote it. He wrote majority of it. So what did you contribute, J. Cole? Like, that's not a good look. It's gonna ruin your legacy. So this better be a prank. I'm gonna give J. Cole the benefit of the doubt. But if I come and find out that you got writers, you will be removed from the top 5 and receiving 100,000 lashings. Real GOATs don't have writers. No shade. Now, moving on to Huda from Love Island. She was on live with the Clout Chaser boyfriend, Lewis, who's been on several reality shows. And basically, they was laughing because somebody prank called them and called Alandria an N-word with the hard ER. Okay? Now, they came up with a bunch of excuses, claimed that they weren't laughing when they were, so they both will be receiving 50,000 lashings. And here's the thing. This is y'all fault. Y'all prop up these non-black women like Cardi B, J-Ho, Erica Mena, okay, and Huda because you like the way they look. And these women do not like black women. They don't like black people. They use black culture. Y'all talk about the Kardashians, but these hoes is no better. So I don't really care what their excuses are. I know they wrote a bunch of stuff on Instagram trying to, not get any backlash. But we know that they do not care about Landria. And I think Huda might be a little bit jealous because Landria have been having a lot of success. And that's just my opinion. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Nicki, Sydney Sweeney, Queen Taylor, and Selena and Hailey Bieber, the issues that are going on behind the scenes on Patreon. Link will be in the description. I hope you have a great day.